Hello and welcome to Rockshire Gaming. My name is Eric. Today we're going to be catching up after the first half of my vacation, but we're going to be catching up with Marvel United updates today. We have a lot to get through. We were gone for 5 days. Didn't do anything on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Got back Sunday, almost filmed this video Sunday night and decided sleep was a little bit more important because I didn't do any of that while we were away. So we have 5 days worth of updates, and that's 16 updates coming in. So we're gonna do that today. So sit back and relax, and let's take a look at what we missed this weekend from Marvel United Multiverse from CMON Games. So yeah, according to my list here, it looks like we had 16 different updates over the course of the 5 days. You would hope that there'd be a few more stretch goals unlocked than there were. There was not a day that I could tell where there were no stretch goals unlocked from in any direction. I think we always had a figure that got unlocked every day, or at least announced every day. But yeah, looks like we actually, and as far as number of stretch goals unlocked compared to the previous 2 campaigns, was actually pretty on par with both campaigns for the same amount technically of content announced. So let's go ahead and take a look at the math real quick. We can take a look at the numbers. This is technically recording on the morning of day 13, but since we are nowhere near unlocking our stretch goal for the current stretch goal going on, I think we're about $29,000 away. It is currently 9:42 a.m. This is not a overnight, late night recording. That'll be tonight probably. But we are about just less than $30,000 away from the next stretch goal being unlocked. So I feel confident that this video can be made today, this morning, edited and sent out before possibly another expansion is revealed at 1 o'clock this afternoon Eastern time. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at my confident numbers. If something happens during the editing process, I'll put a note down here somewhere saying that. In this campaign, without revealing who we got, we unlocked, looks like 8 stretch goal characters over the course of the 5 days. With that said, the Marvel United X-Men campaign also, during the same amount of time, unlocked 8 characters, and the original Marvel United game only had unlocked 7 characters by this point. From what I'm looking at here, so you would think I would have written a spreadsheet for all this before. No, before I would actually just go through and comb through all the Kickstarter updates beforehand, and I thought to myself, why don't you make a spreadsheet to kind of show this, so I'm not going back and forth between tabs. When I show you the updates, yes, I go through those tabs, but I'm talking about me having other tabs open to talk about the comparisons and stuff like that from the other games. And then I realized I actually did have a spreadsheet. I made it last time during the X-Men campaign because for some reason I'm a nerd and decided to catalog when everything was released and compare it to the first campaign. So I'm just using that for the third one. So as of day 12 in the original Marvel United campaign, it looks like there were a total of, at the end of day 12, unlocked, not announced, unlocked, there were 23 characters unlocked. Now, when I go through, if you look at the stretch goal list on the first Marvel United, you see in the stretch goals Nick Fury, Hawkeye, and Corvus Glaive all sitting there on that page underneath the stretch goals. I don't count them as far as stretch goals when we're talking about this because the first stretch goal I think that was officially revealed was Iron Fist. Those 3 characters were basically like, hey, pledge and you get these automatically. These are automatic stretch goals that are going to go in the stretch goal box. You're getting them right off. So I don't count those 3 characters in the count. So just like in the X-Men campaign, I don't count Blob, Toad and Pyro, because they were technically given to you just because at the beginning of the campaign they were freebies at the beginning, and also it's like we're not counting the wreckers because they're just here's a character. We're not counting the wreckers, and we're not counting Iron Lad in those counts. So there is that. Even though they will be going in the stretch goal box, we're not counting them as far as unlocked stretch goals because they were just given to you. Regardless. So at this point, like I said, in the first campaign, we had 23 characters unlocked. At this point in the campaign, in the X-Men game, we had unlocked, looking at day 12, but by day 10, we had unlocked 31 characters. The next couple of characters that are counted in the count, the next 3, so technically 34 characters, those were actually going to be part of the X-Force box. So at this point in the X-Men campaign, we were, looks like halfway through completing the X-Force box that all backers got. So it was a free expansion that everyone got. I know technically the, was it Rise of the Black Panther was also a freebie box that everyone got in the first campaign, but I don't think they announced that until later on in the campaign. They basically said, oh, hey, by the way, you're getting this all free for as part of the Thanos, whatever the Thanos pledge was called, the Infinity Pledge. I don't know what their reasoning was, just giving that box. This originally was an optional add-on, but there's that. And then we were halfway through creating the X-Force box at this point. We don't have anything like that in this campaign, but again, numbers. 23 from the first campaign, technically 34 characters unlocked in the second campaign. At this point, character-wise, we are also at, I think somehow the numbers got shifted around because what we were looking at, but we are still at 34 unlocked characters in the Multiverse campaign. Now, the difference between the Multiverse campaign and the past campaigns is that there's also other things unlocked. So during this time, we also had unlocked 3 additional card packs, which we'll get to when we talk about the goals. But yeah, that's that. And again, with going back to the Marvel campaign, most of this was done by this point. 2 additional expansions released during this time. The Guardians Remix was announced at this point, and the Rise of the Black Panther was, Guardians was released on day 9, and Rise of the Black Panther was released on day 11. Conversely, in the X-Men campaign, on day 8, we had announced Blue Team, Gold Team expansions. That's technically 2 expansions because they were put in there as 2 different optional buys. In day 10, they announced the Phoenix 5 box, it looks like. Though there are boxes that were announced, and we're going to get to that, there was only 1 actual expansion announced during the same time in this campaign. We announced, we didn't do anything because I'm not part of this whatsoever, but CMON announced the Age of Apocalypse box on the day 7. So when we go into day 8, we don't have an expansion box. And at this point, again, we got in the X-Men campaign, they had announced 2 expansions on one day on day 8. But before that, the last expansion was on day 3, which was the First Class box. So if you kind of follow what I'm saying, expansions are definitely pushing numbers at some point. We have a lot of more optional buys, I feel like, at this point in the campaign than we did in the last 2 campaigns. Yeah, with that said, I'm going to go ahead and break away. Did we lose? Yeah, we lost money. I'm looking at that. I think that was, yeah, apparently we lost a couple $100 there. I'm not, again, part of the whole thing. So let's go ahead and take a look at these updates. And I, again, apologize if this video is running long or runs long. We had a lot of stuff to cover while I was gone. So first update that came through, number 42, talking about my generation. Saw that headline, knew exactly what we're doing. They unlocked, or everyone here, you unlocked US Agent at 1320K down there. And the first thing to be announced at that point was the Generation X deck. Has members, let's see, it includes a lot of different team members. Chamber Husk M from the current campaign. It also adds in Emma Frost from the old stretch goal box, Banshee from the blue team box. He's a promo character in that box. So just if you're buying retail expansions, I can't remember if blue team, gold team is a retail expansion. I'm pretty sure it is. just remember that if you are buying that at retail, you're probably not getting Banshee. With that said, Jubilee, I forget that these are italicized to show that they are retail or not. Jubilee is going to be the only one in there from a retail box. We'll get to more of that in a minute. So yeah, they are going to have a Generation X box. They do say in here somewhere, I'm assuming, yep. Also note that this team might still be bolstered by heroes revealed over the course of the Multiverse campaign. Whether or not that's just blowing smoke or they are going to add more Generation X characters into the campaign, we will have to see. But currently, right now, between this campaign and retail boxes that you can buy, there's at least 4 characters that you can use with that team deck. So not too shabby right there. So in order to get the 20k to go from US Agent to Generation X, they decided that they were going to make some changes to what they were doing. Now before this, they kept saying that they were not going to offer content for Simon. We're not going to offer content for previous campaigns in this campaign. And then we got this update right here. Fantastic Four versus Silver Surfer, Herald of Galactus. Jake texted me when this was released while I was at work and said, hey, you kind of got your wish. And I was like, what are you talking about? So they basically state in here that ever since the campaign started, everyone's been clamoring for old content to be in the game, including the Fantastic Four box, which I have mine right here. It's Fantastic Four. It's the Fantastic Four box that should have been, a couple characters should have been added here, and they should have been part of the Fantastic Four Kickstarter, which this should have been, in my mind. You can't tell me that I'm wrong, because we will never know. But this is the Fantastic Four right here. So ever since the beginning of the campaign, everyone's been wanting the Fantastic Four. Even after the War of Kings box came out, a bunch of characters specifically refer to the Fantastic Four in their cards. Now, you can't have those characters refer to them if you don't have them in the game, if you have no access to them. So they decided to add in the Fantastic Four as an optional buy in this campaign. So here is the box. It's $45, has all the stuff for the Fantastic Four that you can need, including Hero, Silver Surfer right there. Look at him. He's all silvery and silver. Yeah, I have the box right here. I'm actually thinking about doing... Actually, I'll save that for a minute. So there's a Fantastic Four box. You can read about the original update here, and they kind of go over what the box has in it. But then there's more. So the thing that, referring to the thing that Jake said to me about, says here, many more backers pointed out it was a shame you couldn't face Silver Surfer in his original role, a Herald of Galactus. Even more deliberation with the design. After even more deliberation with the design team, we decided to add 3 new cards to the Coming of the Galactus expansion, creating an optional module where players can substitute one of the 4 regular Heralds for the Silver Surfer, both in the game against Galactus and in the Heralds of Galactus mode. So there is the cards right there that they're going to add in, so that way Silver Surfer can be on the board for the Heralds of Galactus and all that stuff. So, and there's a little bit of info on that. And before people complain, oh my gosh, there is a you're using a hero with a blue base on there. If you're a painter, you're never going to see what the base looked like unless you painted a blue strip on the bottom of it. I don't know what to tell you on that one. So there's that. Do I still want a villainous Silver Surfer? Technically, I do. It would be cool. I don't really know many places in the comics where he was actually a full-on villain. It would be more of an anti-hero thing, and the villain part of it would be because of the fact that he was a Herald of Galactus and all the other worlds that he would have destroyed beforehand, or helped to destroy beforehand. But that is your Fantastic Four box right there. So we got those extras added in. So that was all on the 25th, which I am assuming was on day 8. Yeah, so that was on day 8 that we got that. So the next update after that, that pretty much killed the Generation X stretch goal for the team deck, got us through that. And then the next thing afterward that was announced was Alondra, Empress of the Shi'ar Empire. We are getting her 12 hero cards and her game piece. So let's see. Lincess is the Princess Magistrix of the Shi'ar Empire, which makes her very resourceful. While other heroes help her with action tokens and other effects, she may draw a card for herself. In Retribution, she can greatly aid her allies, deploying the Imperial fleet to move all of them around and allowing them to treat any action symbols on her cards as wild. So that's going to be a pretty wild time right there, I'm assuming. And she's going to be added to the Starjammers team. So that is pretty cool. They're going to get more than just the 4 members. So that way you can actually mix and match a little bit more, have a little bit more diversity on if you're playing Starjammers. So that was that update. And she was unlocked on the same day on the 25th. And well, then they put out an update about painting the Apocalypse box. So if you like pretty painted miniatures, there is your pretty painted miniatures right there. Please note painted, let's see, what do you say? Please note Big Child works with 3D prints, so their copy of Nemesis couldn't have the clear helmet. That's why they had to paint the skull on the surface. Well, I like that paint job. It's pretty cool. It's interesting. Again, I'm going to say in this video because people kept asking about it, and I saw it asked during the live stream on that Friday. The helmet comes off. You can paint the skull inside. They couldn't do it because they're doing like a 3D print, so it wasn't. They didn't have a glass piece to print or to paint. So the helmet comes off. If you're watching this, you're concerned about the helmet not coming off because you want to paint the red skull underneath. You can take it off. You can take it off. You can paint it and then put it back on. All right. So there is all the artwork for there, and then some of the quote-unquote painted marvels, these stretch goals in there. So if you want to take a look at that on your own time, go ahead. That was update number 45. So the next update here is Unleash the X Factor. So they got Alondra cleared off at 14,000. 1,400,000. There we go. So there is that, and the next one was Havoc. This was a big one for me because I wanted this Havoc sculpt the entire time during the X-Men campaign. We have Havoc in his 90s leader of X Factor costume. It's not the 80s or 70s, 80s Havoc costume, that all black costume and everything. This is him the way he looked in the X Factor comics. I think this, not that I think the costume looks better, but it matches the other characters. Polaris, Strong Guy, all those characters, they all had their 90s, almost every character in this campaign had their 90s X-Men look, 90s comic book look. So the fact that now Havoc matches the rest of his team is pretty cool. Now, again, you don't have to necessarily, unless you want 2 people to play as Havoc, you don't necessarily have to play with these Havoc cards if you don't want to. If you want to play with the old Havoc cards, you can, using the new piece. That way, if you're playing an all X Factor game, it'll look good. It's that. So there is Havoc right there. They built the character different from his X-Men stretch goal box cards. So yeah, he gets a starting hand card of energy absorption. He's able to gain wild tokens every villain turn, so he's going to be pretty diverse right there as well. So there was Havoc announced on day 8. So that's going to take us into day number 9. They did not unlock Havoc at the beginning of day 9 or in the middle of day 9. So they decided to come out with another deck of cards as an optional buy. So some teams are more exclusive than others, plus unleashing promos from timelines past. There's actually a big update right here, more than just the team deck. We're going to get to that here in a second one. So the first thing they did was they added in team decks for characters who were are exclusive to the promo boxes and stuff like that, as well as it looks like teams that are going to be in expansions from this Kickstarter. So already from this box right here, we've got what is it? Apocalypse Resistance. So I scroll down. Does it tell me? So yeah, we're gonna just go through this right here. So we've got the X-Force box. This is old school X-Force. This is not the Uncanny X-Force. This is 90s X-Force. So we're gonna get Cable, Cannonball, Domino, Shatterstar, Boom Boom, Dupe, Feral, Sunspot, Warpath, Hope, Summers, and Deadpool. Deadpool, I think, started as a villain against the New Mutants going into X-Force. So there's that. And unfortunately, Dupe, I don't know if he was ever in... He wasn't in 90s X-Force proper, but he was in the... when Grant Morrison took over the X-Men books back in the day, and they made the changes and whatnot, they basically killed all of X-Force and brought in a new team that was later called Ecstatics, and that's what Dupe was a part of. So that's probably why they're adding him in there. But anyway, so we get those characters there. Then we're going to get West Coast Avengers, which is going to be Hawkeye, Mockingbird, Scarlet Witch, Vision, War Machine, and Iron Man. We're going to get the Savage Avengers, including Doctor Strange, Electric Daredevil, Ghost Rider, Doctor Doom, Logan, Magic, Weapon X, Juggernaut, which is going to be Marvel Unite X-Men plus convention promo. Hero cards available in Dice Tower Kickstarter. You know, I didn't read that before, and that upsets me a little bit. The fact that there doesn't look like they're going to be giving it away in this campaign. It's going to be in the Dice Tower Kickstarter. So there's that, or whatever it is. So Darkchild, Black Knight, Black Widow, and Wolverine. So then we also get Resistance Against Apocalypse, which is going to be Magneto and Morph from the Age of Apocalypse box, Sabretooth from that box as well, X-Man from that box as well, Bishop from the Gold Team box, and Blink from the second Stretch Goal promos, Mutant promos box. Then we're going to have the Illuminati, which is going to be all over the place. So we got Doctor Strange from the United promos, Mr. Fantastic from the Fantastic Four box, Namor from the Mutant promos box, Black Bolt from the War Kings box, Iron Man from the original game, Black Panther from the Rise of the Black Panther expansion, and finally Professor X from the X-Men Corp box. Then we got X Factor, which is going to be Quicksilver, Forge, Multiple Man, Polaris, Strong Guy, Wolfsbane, and it says Havoc from the Multiverse promos. The designers basically said if you want to do whatever you want to do in your own game, you can. I don't see why you wouldn't, unless it's because of the fact that he's technically an X-Men in that costume. I don't know why you couldn't just use the Havoc from the Mutant promos in there as well, but to each their own. Then we got the Excalibur team, Captain Britain, both flavors, Kitty Pryde, Nightcrawler, Phoenix, and Colossus. Yeah, Phoenix, I'm assuming, is the version from the Rachel Summers version, because you can't play Dark Phoenix. Anyway, then we've got the New Mutants team. So again, Cannonball, Legion, Magic, Mirage, Sunspot, Warlock, Wolfsbane, X-Man, Cypher, and Darkchild. And then the Infinity Watch, including Adam Warlock, Doctor Strange, Drax, Gamora, Black Widow, Captain Marvel, Star-Lord, and from the Guardians of the Galaxy. Then we have the Inhumans. All that's going to be from the War of Kings box, except for Miss Marvel. Fantastic Four are going to have their own box there. And then Force Works, Mockingbird, Scarlet Witch, Spider-Woman, War Machine, U.S. Agent, and Iron Man. So then the Defenders. This is the Manhattan team. This is the going to be based off the Netflix series and probably a little bit of the Mighty Avengers. Is it Mighty Avengers? Whenever Nick Cage took over either Mighty Avengers or New Avengers. I think it was Mighty Avengers because New Avengers was the Illuminati at that point. But we have Daredevil, Iron Fist, Jessica Jones, and Luke Cage. And then Marvel Knights. I think Alpha Flight's the last one. Daredevil, Luke Cage, Moon Knight, Shang-Chi, Dagger, Black Widow. And then we have the members of Alpha Flight, including Wolverine from the OG box. Now, if you saw that list of characters, you wanted to get this stretch goal, this not even a stretch goal, if you want to get this optional buy, but you don't have the characters, well, we have the rest of an update for you. I do think this is pretty cool. I like it because it gives more people access to content if you missed it from the first 2 campaigns, and also it takes care of the scalpers. You know, I, as a like action figure collector and stuff like that, people buying up stuff just to scalp online just annoys me. If that's what you do, whatever, but I don't really care for it that much. But the next goal says here, now we understand that many of these teams make heavy use of exclusive heroes from the previous campaigns. We had assumed the overall majority of multiverse backers would also have backed the previous campaigns or got the classic exclusives when they were reissued in the X-Men campaign. Well, by the high volume of requests to make the previous promos available again, it seems we underestimate the number of newcomers, and so we have been discussing So they're going to do United promos. So the first one here in United promos is this big box right here. This is the United promos. This is all the characters from the first campaign. Looks like including Adam Warlock and Yondu. Now, whether or not they are going to come in this box, I didn't grab them beforehand, or they're going to come in their individual boxes to be put in here. I don't know. I don't know if it says it in here, and I'm not going to go through and read it while we're talking. I'm not going to go here and read through the names of the 46 characters that it seems like are in this box. I do believe, though, I'm going to scan right quick for, yep, Kang is right there, and Villain and Hero Venom are right there. So if you're going to be buying this box, I've seen the question on the Kickstarter, on the Facebook page, of whether or not this is going to include the Kang and the Venom. It does. They designed this box to include those 2 characters. I don't know if they were supposed to be convention exclusives like the cards for Juggernaut and Great Hulk or not, but I think that's what the thing was. But basically a retailer jumped the gun on selling these, and we're sorry to Kickstarter backers who had not gotten their Wave 1 shipping yet, they added in the Kang and Venom at no extra stretch goalie cost or anything like that. So there is that box right there, but that's not all. We are also going to add in, when we get down here, for another $120, the Mutant promos, which is this heavier box right here. Why this is the same exact price when you have way more characters, I have no idea. But this is going to be the Mutant promos box. Storm and Old Man Logan are in here. Storm came from, I think Storm was part of the Apocalypse box. I don't remember where Old Man Logan came from, and I probably said it in another video, but my old man brain can't remember what that was from. So yeah, so for $120, you can add the Mutant promos box. For another $120 separately, you can add the original United promos box. If you scroll down here, they are going to offer the classic promos bundle, so you get $20 chipped off of that. $220 for 2 boxes. I am pretty sure on eBay that both of these boxes are about 300 plus. It seems like that's what they get sold for online. I think I was randomly scrolling through Amazon yesterday, and I saw someone selling one of the 2 boxes for like $350. So if you don't want to pay scalper prices and you can swing it, I would go ahead and add those in as an optional buy. But yeah, that was huge. And then people complaining that CMON is greedy for offering this and everything. You don't have to buy it. If you've already bought it, I don't really plan on buying this again. I have no reason. Unless I was going to resell it, which I'm probably not going to. I have no reason to buy this box. I have this box. I showed you these boxes. I showed you those 2 boxes. I showed you this box right here. We apparently have all the boxes. So if you're somebody who didn't get the first game and you want to get the stuff from the first game, go ahead and get it. You will still technically be missing some characters from retail. If you buy the retail box, you're gonna miss like the 1 or 2 Kickstarter exclusive characters. But I mean, there's over 40 plus characters per box in here. You're gonna get a ton of content. I may or may not do an unboxing of these this week sometime, just to kind of show people exactly how much content is in the game when you're looking at it. So if I decide to do that, be on the lookout for that. It'll kind of break up this kind of coverage. But anyway, we are at what time? We are at 32 minutes filming. Don't know what that's going to look like edited, but we are going to get to the next update, which is going to be update number 48. This is going to still be put us on day 9 of this campaign. So we have announced after we got through Havoc, after we got through the promo decks, after we got through the United boxes and the bundles, they finally and talking about the live stream that was going to be on the 27th, so day 10 of this campaign. On day 9, we got the anti-hero piece for Dark Star. So she is there as an anti-hero. She uses her mystical command of the Dark Force to perform amazing feats. She can open portals to teleport anywhere, wherever she wishes. She can also create Dark Force constructs to perform extra attacks or heroic actions across multiple locations. So that's pretty cool there. Dark Star is also part of the Winter Guard, so her and other heroes may gain. I don't know if that's supposed to be she or not, but anyway, they gain heroic tokens when she plays her Winter Guard card. So there's gonna be more characters for the Winter Guard now. They apparently top secreted her villain stuff, so we'll have to see what happens. I don't know if it's because they're going to be part of an expansion or there's going to be some villain mechanic going on later on. So, but we'll see about that. So the next expansion here was called Escalation. I don't remember what that one was. Oh, here we go. Escalation. I remember what this was now. So we got announced superhero and supervillain cards. So these are brand new cards, including 6 new hero cards and 6 new supervillain cards. This is very similar to the stretch goal in the X-Men campaign, where they added in the additional supervillain and superhero cards. Now that update, if I remember correctly, didn't come out. I was actually looking at that from the old the X-Men campaign. There was no superhero and supervillain mode in the original game. So in the X-Men campaign, this particular card pack was not announced until sometime around day 15, 16. It was during the update between X23 and Mirage. That like X23 was announced on day 15. X23 was announced on day 15. Mirage was unlocked on day 16. So day 15 of the old campaign. We're only on day 9 of this campaign. So we have new cards, and they did say while the base set of cards are the same across the different core boxes. So the X-Men box, the Multiverse box, and the Spider-Geddon box are all going to have the same exact superhero and supervillain cards in them. The difference here is going to be that these cards, the stretch goal cards in this set are going to be different from the stretch goal cards in the X-Men set. During the X-Men set, like I said, on day 14 or 15, they unlocked those cards, and these are going to be different sets, so we're not just getting the same 6 cards that we got from them. So but yeah, so that is going to be that right there. This won't stop me. Take cover, persuasive speech, the long shadow, and deactivate equipment. So yes, they're going to be tuned to the new mechanics in the game. So that was that one right there. So if you want more cards, great. If you don't want more cards, then I mean, you didn't pay more money for them, but yeah, we'll go for that right there. They're basically free. You don't have to pledge anything. They're not the add-on, everything like that. Those are just cards you are getting. So let's see. That was the end of No, that was unlocked on day 9. So the last thing on day 9 was the Elsa Bloodstone. So she is another new hero character, monster hunter. Um, Going around there. I'm not really familiar with this character, so I'm sorry if I'm not like woo about it. But um, from the one video, the prediction video, I already said I didn't really watch or read anything with Werewolf by Night or anything like that. So I'm sure this character is from there. I will check out the show at some point. But again, I know people were excited when this character popped up. I wasn't that I wasn't excited, but I mean, more characters, more characters. But I didn't really. This is not a character that speaks to me like an X-Men character would. So she does come with an equipment card. It says permanent heroes in your location may move to the opposite location using an action. So she can basically, instead of having to move side to side to locations, she can move people across the way. So that was pretty good. So she was announced on day 9, and she is going to be added to the Deadpool team up team. So there is that. Oh my gosh! Next, we're almost halfway through. Next on day, did we do that on day 9? Yes, we're still on day 9 right here. We have Elsa unlocked, and we had announced Kid Loki. So this is the child version of Loki, another pure hero version of Loki at 17. I just want to point out too that we're getting like $80,000 and $70,000 stretch goals at this point. They are long stretch goals. It's not the 30 to 40,000 we were getting at the beginning of the campaign. This happened in the X-Men campaign too. People were complaining of why are the stretch goals so high, but production gets higher. It's going to cost more for more and more characters and everything. So that's part of it. I'm sure there's other reasons that I will never be privy to. But yeah, there's that. So I just want to point that out. We are getting higher stretch goals. The card packs are usually sticking at $20,000 each, so it's not going to be much to add those. But the heroes are starting to get a little bit more larger gaps between them. But yeah, we've got Kid Loki. His deck contains an ungodly number of wild symbols, giving him amazing flexibility, and using his smarts, he may gain even more wilds when he's outclassed. So he's basically going to just create wild tokens. He can talk thugs into becoming civilians and even eliminate crisis tokens. So that's going to be a pretty good card right there. All you Loki fans have fun with that. But I'm pretty sure he was announced pretty early on. I think that's Thursday, and going into Thursday night into Friday, it was taking a while to go on there. So it looks like they needed to have something to drive numbers up. So during the live stream that occurred, and I haven't been able to watch all through the live stream. I was away. We were actually at Universal Studios in Florida during the vacation, so I hung out in Marvel Superhero Land a lot during this. Actually, I think I was during this video coming up. I think I was in Harry Potter Land, waiting on a ride. So I had nothing better to do than try to listen to the live stream. Everyone talking around me, couldn't hear what was going on, but basically stuck with it to where I could for the expansion box, which is going to be yeah. So choose your side in the Civil War. I had called this as one of my predictions for a PvP mode, team versus team, where you actually fight each other. And so we got just that. This is, I'm not going to play the video on here, but this is the Civil War team box. We are getting now an alternate version of Captain America and Iron Man. I know people are probably thinking, "Oh my gosh, this is multiverse. Why aren't we getting any multiverse characters?" I would argue that the Iron Man and the Captain America, especially the way they look, I think they are looking more like modern comic design, but they to me look more like MCU. So I would almost state that this is multiverse in the fact that we're finally getting a 616 Cap and Iron Man, but that's just me. So there's a lot of things covered in this box. as far as my predictions, and we might do a prediction catch up later this week. I'm not sure, but this box ticked some boxes for me, and also kind of did some stuff for me. But we'll take a look at that. So this is, again, an optional buy. It is $40 for this. We are getting all these different characters. So we're getting Captain America and Iron Man, of course. We're also getting Spectrum. There is a movie coming out for the Marvels with her in it. We're getting Wonder Man, character I thought was missing from the last campaign. We're getting Tigra, who I don't remember much of her in Civil War proper. I'm pretty sure, though, she was a big part of the what was it called? The Initiative after Civil War, as was Yellow Jacket. This is the Hank Pym version of Yellow Jacket. We have Kate Bishop, and we have Goliath, the Bill Foster version of Goliath. Now, again, checking boxes. I said I wanted a Civil War box. We're getting a Civil War box. I said I wanted a large Ant-Man Hank Pym figure. I got a Hank Pym figure in Yellow Jacket, and we're getting a large figure in the form of Goliath here. So, am I still hoping for a Hank Pym Giant Man figure? It'd be cool. It'd be cool to get that costume in there to round everything out. I think we can still do it, team. But we've got all that plus all these things right here, and we're getting some exclusives on the board here. Hulkling for all you Young Avengers fans, and then we're getting the Iron Spider. Yes, I do see that he only has 3 spider legs on the back. That's the way the character was in the comic book. I don't know why. I know some of it was they didn't want him to look like Doc Ock, but that is what the character looked like. I'm sorry for you if you think he should have 4. That's what 3D printers are for. I don't know what to tell you. So the character, as we're getting it, is only going to have 3 spider legs. It's comic accurate. This is not a MCU Civil War box. This is a comic accurate box. So we'll stick with that. So we are getting all these cards and game pieces. They are calling Iron Man the Civil War Iron Man. They're calling Captain America the classic Captain America. So we're getting all that. We are also getting, after all the people cards and everything like that, we are getting 9 new equipment cards, 1 Civil War dashboard, 6 mission cards, 12 population cards, 6 event cards, 6 cell cards, 6 location control tokens, 6 danger tokens, 9 shield tokens, 6 6 locations themselves, 1 last player card, 6 color bases, and 2 tracker cubes. So we are getting all of that. If you acquire all these, you get 2 extra bonus heroes, 1 for each team. Yeah, so we already said that. And then the equipment they get. 4 equipment cards, looks like for, I don't know who for. Let's explore each of the different things on there. So this is a pretty cool box. We're going to have 2 different modes, teams. We're going to have the registration clash. Teams alternate turns, each playing their hero card on a separate storyline. So you can kind of see that we're going to do the storyline on 2 separate sides. Here, heroes can attack each other, forcing the opposing team hero to discard 1 card. All heroes have shield tokens they use to defend from 1 attack, in which is refreshed after they are KO'd. No threats are used, but a hero can only use a location's end of turn effects if their team controls that location, as indicated by the color of the control token on this location. So we have the control tokens, you're going to put them down. So basically you're, I don't know, playing like a version of King of the Hill kind of thing. Overflows damage a hero from the team that controls that location. So we've got all of that on there. And then the missions are a little bit different depending on if you're on the anti-registration team or the pro-registration team. Registration apparently is a hard word to say. Let's see. They have their own deck of missions that they need to accomplish one by one in order to win the game, weaving the Civil War narrative. These missions place danger tokens in various ways on civilians, thugs, and locations, which the Team Blue heroes must deal with in order to complete the mission and move to the next one. Each time a mission is completed, a population card is drawn, adding more thugs and civilians around the play area. So that's how they're getting the thugs and civilians onto the board. Since we're not using master plan cards to add them, they're going to have their own separate population cards mechanic. And then whenever a blue team KOs a red team member, they gain 2 action tokens. On the other side is Iron Man's pro registration team. They set out to apprehend the outlaw Secret Avengers. On the central dashboard, they have their vault in which they can add sell cards by spending heroic actions. They can also chase down Team Blue heroes and tag them by spending a heroic action to give them a crisis token. If that hero is then KO'd, they are placed on a cell, triggering the trap effect of the cell card. These traps may allow Team Red to shut down the enemy's equipment, discard their action tokens, stun them, etc. A hero trapped in a cell cannot move by any means and loses all their special effects. In order to escape, either them or one of their teammates must spend 2 actions of the same type on their turn. So blue team going around dealing with civilians and thugs, red team going around trying to take out the heroes, capture them, put them in jail. Players can play a single game with blue team winning if they complete all the missions within a specific number of turns, or red team winning if they can keep blue team from doing so. Or players can play 2 back-to-back games, swapping roles to see who can complete their missions. All right, so there's that. So that is the registration clash mode. It does have its own dashboard in there, but then we also have Clash of Heroes. Sometimes heroes just want to punch each other in their perfect teeth. The Clash of Heroes mode allows players to engage in a more casual player versus player conflict with more straightforward, symmetrical rules. Clash of Heroes follows the same general PvP rules stated above, but the teams are competing for points. Teams earn points by rescuing civilians, defeating thugs, controlling locations, and of course, KOing each other. So you're basically managing. Looks like you're trying to get up to 40 points, and you're drawing event cards to do that. I'm not going to go through and read all this because I'm realizing I'm probably putting you to sleep. But there is all that right there. Quackalope did do a video on that. If you want to see how the game plays, I think they do it through Tabletop Simulator. You can go check that out. So we got the pro registration heroes that I guess specifically are for that side. I don't know if there's mechanics in there or if the cards are designed in a way that they need to follow this team versus team mechanic, but and which side they're on. So we've got a new version of Iron Man with 3 new equipment cards: the deflector shield, stealth field generator, and the omnibeam. So we've got that going on for him. Tigra with her cards and model, thankfully wearing a lot more than I see her usually in the comics. Wonder Man in there with the purple electric effect behind him, so that's pretty cool. Yellow Jacket, the Henry Hank Pym version of the character, with his Disruptor Stings equipment cards. That's going to be the 4 equipment cards for the pro registration. Then we got the Secret Avengers, Captain America Classic with, I'm assuming, Captain America's shield that is specifically for the classic version, it looks like. I do really like this model because with the American flag behind him, they allow it to make it look like he's actually throwing the shield, which I think is pretty cool. For all of you MCU fans, you got your Kate Bishop here with her trick arrows. Now I'm pretty sure, yeah, there it is. She's got 4 trick arrows, but she can only bring 3 of them with her when she when you use her. So you can't use all 4 arrows. You do have to like mix and match her equipment loadout when you have her on your team. So there is that. Then we've got Spectrums. Looks like she can. She's going to be ranged, so she's going to hit adjacent locations and stuff like that. So that's going to be pretty cool. And then we got the big boy there, Goliath, towering over everybody there. No equipment cards for him. But I do like the fact that he is pretty beefy. I know during the stream I did see an image that I think he's like a hair shorter than a Sentinel. So he is going to be pretty big there. Then we got the new locations. Got Washington, D.C., Um, I can't read what the island. Garrett Castle. There we've got Bar with No Name. We've got Sokovia. We've got the Rift or the Raft and Avengers Mountain. So there's new stuff there. Then we got Peter Parker, the Iron Spider with his Waludes and his web shooter. Waldos. I don't know if they're Walus. His Waldos and his web shooters there. And then we've got Hulkling with Excelsior and the Nega wedding ring there. So those are going to be your other characters. And Hulkling looks like he's got an impersonation ability there. So next to his impersonating card, it functions as if there were his own cards playing on the storyline, giving Hulkling that special effect. So apparently Hulkling gets special effects from other characters. So that's pretty cool on there. And then those other two team decks that were in the retail team deck pack that were secret are going to be the Team Iron Man Pro Registration and the Team Captain America. And there so far is the loadouts of who is on what team there. Again, if you need to mix and match, you can. They said it's okay if you wanted to, depending on how everything runs. Even then, like Iron Spider right here is on Iron Man's team is regular. Yeah, regular Spider-Man's not on this list on here. Spider-Man in the storyline did jump from Iron Man's team to Captain America's team. So again, why you can't do that in this game, I have no idea. And then we got Spectrum and Kate Bishop moving on to A-Force. Tiger and Wonder Man going to be on West Coast Avengers, and Wonder Man will be in Force Works. And there, again, if you didn't know how already, is how you do your optional buys. So this box did allow us on the next update here to unlock Loki. Kid Loki is unlocked thanks to the Civil War box and nothing else. And then Wiccan to go along with your Hulkling and Speed figures. Wiccan was added to the game as not an optional, as a stretch goal. And he also has the Nega wedding ring. Using your turn, a hero with a wedding ring in your or an adjacent location draws one card, then turn this face down. So it's allowing you to gain extra cards and heal and whatnot. So, excuse me, I like that card. I like that hero. So, let's see. This young Avenger can fire Force Blast at adjacent locations or warp reality to allow another hero swap cards with the storyline. So that's pretty cool. You get to swap cards in and out of the storyline if you need to play them again. So a lot of good mechanics in that. So Wiccan was announced for day, I think that was all on day 10. Yep, 27th. So that is day 10. So yeah, here on day 10, finishing it out, we do have like I said, they unlock the Wiccan figure at 1,780,000 thanks to the Civil War box, and then at a stretch goal of a whopping 1,850,000, we get the Red Hulk figure. Yes, he's purple. I understand that, but he is technically an anti-hero character, so he is right here. He has similarities to the regular Hulk. His rage can deal 2 damage to everything in a location, also causing civilians to flee. His is also able to absorb energy from other heroes, forcing anybody in locations around him to discard cards with special effects, so he gains wild tokens. Not the nicest of moves, but definitely an effective one. Then as a villain, he is seeking revenge on the heroes, chasing them relentlessly and causing trouble. In order to increase his revenge track, his threats help him look for trouble, ensuring he is always moves to a location occupied by heroes. Expectedly, I don't know why I couldn't read that word. He's a tough foe who hit hard. He is a tough foe who hit hard and often. The heroes have a special weapon, though. Betty Ross, the Hulk's daughter, is around, and her presence neutralizes Red Hulk's BAMs if her token is in his location. The heroes control her movement according to the moves on the latest cards they played. So if they play their cards right, can stand a chance of bringing down the big guy. I don't know if that was just me reading or me saying, but so that is Red Hulk right there, the last announced character, I believe, on day 10, going into day then 11 was just a, hey, we painted some stuff. Beautiful artwork, by the way. I would definitely encourage you to go back and look through it. But there is all the painting for all the characters unlocked up to that point there. Day 11, we unlocked the Hulk, the Red Hulk, and we got a new stretch goal for the Young Avengers team deck. So, and it's again another 20k to go from Red Hulk into the Young Avengers. So it adds in all these characters that we've already seen. We've got Iron Lad, Patriot, Speedy, Kid, Loki, Wiccan, Hulkling, Kate Bishop, and America Chavez, going all the way back to the first campaign. So there is that deck right there. So that was what was revealed on, was like day 11. So then finally on day, it looks like 12, we unlocked the Young Avengers team deck, and we got Siren added to the game. She's not unlocked yet as of day 13, which is today, this morning. We are nowhere near unlocking her. They keep on, like right here, the next goal is 70,000. So we're a long way away from her. Like I said, the team decks and in our other cards are pretty short to get from one to the other, but the figures are getting these longer gaps. So with that said, we technically have gone a day from 11 to 13 without having a figure unlocked. Now, we did have something unlocked on day 12, but we don't have a figure unlocked. This didn't happen. This technically happened in the first campaign. On day 12, they unlocked Okoye, and they didn't unlock Falcon until day 14. So there was a 2-day gap between stretch goal figures. With that said, we had stretch goal cards yesterday, so that kind of filled that gap in. And I guarantee you, at 1 o'clock today, we are going to have a stretch goal box thrown in. Not stretch goal box. We're going to have an expansion box show up. So there is, so there's that. So yeah. So looks like Siren's going to be it for today as far as this update on Marvel United Multiverse goes. So let's just go back here. I'm going to refresh the page, see where we're at. So yeah, we're back up to that 1911. I don't remember what the rest of it was when we started, but we're basically right where we started. So the campaign hasn't moved. I think a lot of people might be waiting for a box, so I'm not going to go into much more. We're already an hour in. I got someplace to be here in a minute. So we are most likely going to have a expansion here later today, or today, depending on when you watch this. But so far, again, everything. Another thing I do want to note before I leave is that there was not a single villain in any of these updates. We have not had a villain unlock since day 5. And we were on day 12. Now you say, Eric, there's a bunch of anti-heroes. What are you talking about? We have not had a red villain show up since day 5. Arguably since day 7, if you add in the Apocalypse box and any new content for this game. Not talking about old stretch goals or anything like that. But even the Civil War box that we got, there's not a villain in it. There's only heroes in it. So it's a whole new box of heroes, can fight each other. But as far as a stretch goal for a hero, Iron Patriot was the last one on day 5. We're going into day 13 without a villain. So we'll see what the campaign brings for us today. But that is going to be it for me. I'm going to get this edited out. It'll probably be after the 1 o'clock announcement. I will do, this is going out today on January 30th. I'll have another video out later tonight, most likely talking about whatever was announced this afternoon. But other than that, yeah, I'm going to keep this one short. We had a lot of content to go through. Sorry if it felt a little rushed. Still tired from the vacation and whatnot, so did not sleep at all. I think I got about 4 hours of sleep every night. But yeah, anyway, so with that, I'd like to thank you guys for tuning into this uh, very condensed update video. I'm going to do some more content. I got the rest of this whole entire week off, so I'm hoping to do some more, do some unboxing content of at least the boxes that are being offered, kind of show you guys what that is about, um, and do some other stuff this week since I have the time. So you guys be nice to each other in those comments, and we will see you guys in the next update. Bye.